Dylan, an 18-year-old fresh out of high school and eager to explore life, decided to attend a party his older friends had recommended. The venue was bustling with music and laughter, a perfect place to meet new people and maybe even spark an unexpected adventure. As he navigated through the dance floor, his eyes met Ethan's, a 30-year-old with a relaxed charm that instantly caught Dylan's attention. Ethan, intrigued by Dylan's energy, approached him. They began to talk, and Ethan, with his experience and maturity, quickly put Dylan at ease. There was something undeniably captivating about Dylan's youthful enthusiasm, something that made Ethan smile. As they got lost in conversation, a third man, Ryan, 35 years old and brimming with confidence, joined them. Ryan's presence was magnetic, and both Dylan and Ethan felt an immediate pull towards him. The three spent most of the night together, talking about their lives, dreams, and experiences. Ethan, usually reserved, found himself opening up in ways that surprised even him. Meanwhile, Ryan enjoyed being the center of attention, casting glances and sharing laughter that made the bond between them warmer and deeper. As the night progressed, they decided to leave the party for a quieter spot nearby, a cozy cafe where their connection only grew stronger. For Ethan, it felt like magic. For Dylan, it was both thrilling and a bit overwhelming. And for Ryan, it was a chance to be adored by two people who seemed irresistibly drawn to him. By the end of the night, it was clear that they wanted to explore what they had found together. This unexpected connection had transformed what started as a simple night out into something profound. Over the next few days, Dylan, Ethan, and Ryan kept in touch and decided to meet again, this time for dinner at a cozy restaurant downtown. They were each excited, curious about where this connection could lead. For Dylan, it was a new, electrifying experience, his first real connection with someone, and now with two people. Ethan felt a renewed sense of joy with Dylan, and with Ryan he found a friendship that had the potential for something deeper. Ryan, on the other hand, enjoyed the attention of both men. During dinner, he dominated the conversation with stories and laughs, relishing the affection he received from both Dylan and Ethan. As the evening wore on, the conversations grew more personal, and they began to share stories and dreams that they rarely shared with others. Ethan talked about his career, the challenges and ambitions, while Ryan spoke of his travels and the people he had met. Dylan admired them both and found himself more drawn to each of them. After dinner, the three went to Ryan's apartment, where the atmosphere became more intimate. The chemistry between them was undeniable, and soon they found themselves drawn together in a passionate embrace. That night marked the beginning of something deeper for all of them. By the end of the night, they said their goodbyes, each with a sense of excitement and anticipation. They knew that this was just the beginning of a journey that would bring them closer together. As time went on, Dylan, Ethan, and Ryan grew closer. They spent weekends together exploring the city, watching movies, and enjoying the kind of companionship that only comes when people feel truly at ease with each other. Dylan learned new things about himself through his connection with Ethan, who made him feel safe, and Ryan, who brought out his adventurous side. For Ethan, the relationship was a joyful surprise. He never imagined he could feel so connected to two people at once. Dylan brought lightness into his life, while Ryan, with his steady personality, provided a new kind of support and understanding. Ryan, however, began to feel a twinge of discomfort. He noticed how close Dylan and Ethan were becoming, and it made him feel slightly insecure. The way Ethan looked at Dylan with a depth of affection that went beyond mere attraction, and the way Dylan trusted Ethan so openly made Ryan feel like an outsider in their relationship. One night, while they were at Ethan's place, the three of them discussed their future plans. Dylan talked about his dreams, and Ethan encouraged him, showing the support that had developed over time. Ryan, watching this, felt a pang of jealousy. For him, this relationship was supposed to be fun and light, without the emotional complications that were starting to emerge. After that night, Ryan found himself questioning his role in their relationship, feeling conflicted about the love that was growing between Ethan and Dylan. Tension between the three became harder to ignore. Dylan and Ethan grew closer with each passing day, and Ryan felt increasingly left out. Their interactions, once so joyful, had become tense and filled with unspoken questions. One evening, they went to an art exhibition, a suggestion from Ryan in an attempt to reconnect with the others. But as the night progressed, he found himself watching Dylan and Ethan more than he participated. Their easy connection and laughter made him feel even more like an outsider. Afterward, they decided to have dinner at a nearby restaurant. Ryan stayed quiet, giving short answers and avoiding eye contact. Ethan noticed and gently asked if he was okay, but Ryan brushed it off. At the end of the night, Ryan was left feeling uncertain. He didn't want to lose what he had with them, but the jealousy and frustration were becoming overwhelming. That night, alone in his apartment, he began to wonder if he could continue with the relationship. Days passed, and the tension grew. Dylan and Ethan enjoyed each other's company more and more, while Ryan struggled with jealousy. He knew he needed to talk to them about his feelings, but he wasn't sure how. One Saturday, Ethan decided to visit Ryan, determined to understand what was happening. When he arrived, he could see the exhaustion in Ryan's eyes. Ethan asked if everything was okay, making it clear he and Dylan were there for him. Ryan hesitated, but finally admitted his feelings. He confessed that seeing the bond between Ethan and Dylan made him feel like he was losing his place. The jealousy and fear of being left out were consuming him. Ethan tried to reassure him, but Ryan explained that he felt it would be best to let them go. The farewell was quiet and emotional. Ethan respected Ryan's choice, even though it hurt deeply. They both knew it would change things forever, but they also knew it was what Ryan needed. In the weeks that followed Ryan's departure, the absence left a noticeable gap for Ethan and Dylan. The dynamic they had known felt altered, almost like a void hung in the spaces where Ryan's laughter, his steady presence, and his unique perspective used to be. Ethan and Dylan attempted to adapt, but it was clear that a significant piece of their lives had shifted. Still, they were determined to find a new rhythm in this revised relationship. Ethan, always thoughtful, found himself reflecting on the complexities Ryan had brought to their connection. While Ryan's insecurities had caused tension, Ethan also recognized how his vulnerability had taught him and Dylan valuable lessons. The importance of open communication and empathy was something Ethan felt even more deeply now. He often shared these thoughts with Dylan, who, though less expressive, also felt the loss in his own way. On one quiet evening, Ethan suggested they revisit some of the favorite spots the three of them had once enjoyed. Dylan agreed, and together they set out, retracing memories that were bittersweet, yet brought a sense of closure. As they sat in a small park where the three of them had spent afternoons talking and sharing dreams, Dylan opened up, expressing his own sadness and a hint of regret. "I never thought things would change this way," he admitted softly. Ethan listened, realizing how profoundly this experience had affected both of them. As days turned into weeks, they began to create new memories, slowly letting go of the past. They discovered that their bond, though now simplified to the two of them, was deepening in unexpected ways. For Dylan, this relationship felt like it had been reborn, grounded in experiences that had taught them resilience. For Ethan, he found solace in knowing they were both committed to a shared path, one filled with the potential to grow and flourish. By the end of the month, Ethan and Dylan felt the shifts within themselves settle, giving rise to a new chapter in their story. Together, they were finally ready to move forward, holding the lessons Ryan had left with them close to their hearts. Since Ryan's departure, Ethan and Dylan felt a significant shift in their lives, marked by a sense of responsibility and a renewed purpose in their relationship. Ryan's absence had left a space that seemed to be filled by a deeper commitment between them. Every conversation, every moment together carried a new weight and meaning, as if they were both ready to fully commit to each other without hesitation. On a particularly cold night, Dylan sat beside Ethan on the couch, listening to the crackling of the fireplace. The quiet in the room was comforting, providing the perfect setting for a conversation they had both been putting off. Ethan finally shared his desire for a solid future with Dylan, mentioning dreams of a life together, a home where each detail reflected the love and life they were building. Dylan's eyes shone with happiness as he realized just how much he wanted this sense of security and stability with someone he deeply loved. As Ethan spoke, Dylan's thoughts wandered through all the moments they had shared. He remembered the laughter, the struggles, the nights he questioned if this love was even possible. Hearing Ethan express his love with such honesty made Dylan feel that this love was real, concrete, and valuable. They exchanged silent smiles and embraces that sealed an invisible yet undeniable commitment. In the weeks that followed that conversation, they created a new routine. Ethan and Dylan began forming little rituals, home-cooked dinners, spontaneous trips to nearby places, weekends dedicated to shared projects. It was as if, with each moment spent together, they were building a unique story, a narrative that was solely theirs. For Dylan, this routine was a relief, a reassurance that he was with the right person. For Ethan, it marked the beginning of a new phase, a life he had always wanted but never thought possible. Despite this newfound stability, Ryan's memory lingered in a subtle and reflective way. The choices and challenges they had overcome together, including the pain of losing someone dear, served as a reminder of what truly mattered. Every smile, every touch, every night they fell asleep next to each other was an affirmation that their love was rare, a gift that they valued more each day. As spring turned into summer, Ethan and Dylan continued to deepen their connection, with each day bringing a newfound sense of closeness and understanding. They spent long evenings together, talking about their dreams, hopes, and even their fears. Yet, as content as they felt, a quiet, unspoken tension had started to emerge. Ethan occasionally noticed moments when Dylan seemed lost in thought, his gaze distant as though grappling with something unseen. Ethan would ask if everything was all right, and Dylan would always reassure him with a smile and a gentle touch. But Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. One evening, as they sat under the stars on Dylan's balcony, Ethan opened up about how he'd envisioned their life together, a vision that felt more tangible and precious than anything he'd ever imagined. He spoke about his desire to continue building a life filled with joy and commitment, and as he talked, he noticed Dylan's expression shift. Dylan was listening intently, but there was a sadness in his eyes that Ethan hadn't seen before. Finally, Ethan took a deep breath and voiced his concern. "Dylan, is there something you're not telling me? I feel like you're holding back, and I need to know if everything's really okay between us." Dylan hesitated, his eyes searching Ethan's face as if weighing a difficult decision. After a long silence, he admitted, "I'm not sure I'm ready for everything you're dreaming of, Ethan. I love you deeply, but there are parts of me still grappling with things I can't yet explain." Ethan's heart sank, but he nodded, trying to understand. The love he felt for Dylan was undeniable, yet he couldn't ignore the sharp ache of doubt creeping in. They sat in silence, each lost in their own thoughts, the weight of the conversation pressing heavily on both of them. It was a painful realization that while they had grown so close, there were still some divides that words alone couldn't bridge. In the days that followed, Ethan felt an emptiness growing inside him, a quiet fear that their dreams were slipping away. One evening, as he returned home, he found a letter on his doorstep. It was from Dylan. His heart raced as he opened it, the weight of the words almost unbearable. "Ethan, I have to let you go, not because I don't love you, but because I know I'm holding you back from the life you deserve. You've given me a happiness I never thought I would find, but I see that my uncertainties are hurting us both. I need to face my own shadows alone, to confront parts of myself that I've been avoiding. This isn't goodbye forever, but right now, I have to walk my path without you by my side." Ethan felt the tears well up as he read the words, each sentence piercing his heart. He hadn't expected this, hadn't prepared for a life without Dylan. The pain was almost unbearable, and he found himself sinking to the floor. The letter crumpled in his hands. The man he had imagined spending his life with was choosing to leave, to face his own battles away from him. It felt like a final chapter was being written, one he hadn't anticipated or wanted. The following days were a blur of memories and heartache. Ethan revisited the places they'd been together, the small cafe where they'd shared countless conversations, the park where they'd walked hand in hand, and the beach that had witnessed their promises of love. He replayed their last conversations in his mind, searching for clues he might have missed, signs that Dylan had been struggling alone. But in the end, all he found was the realization that, despite the love they'd shared, sometimes love alone isn't enough to bridge the gaps that life creates. As time went on, Ethan began to heal, carrying the bittersweet memories with him. Dylan had been his first true love, a part of his life that he would never forget. And though the future seemed uncertain, he held on to the hope that they might find each other again someday, both stronger and ready to face the world together. Ethan walked away from that chapter with a heavy heart but a newfound resilience, ready to face whatever the world had in store, knowing that he had loved fully, and that was a gift he would carry with him forever. This story reveals how love is a complex journey, filled with highs and lows, where even the deepest connections can face challenges we never anticipated. So often, we believe love is enough to keep us together, but life sometimes teaches us otherwise. Loving someone also means giving them the space to grow, find themselves, and sometimes even letting them go. It's a painful lesson, but one that's full of meaning. Have you ever experienced something like this, where love faced unexpected sacrifices? Or maybe you have an inspiring story you'd like to share. Drop it in the comments. Your experience might inspire our next video, touching and connecting even more hearts.